see, are we on? Ooh, it looks like we are live. Okay, nobody's in yet. At least not on YouTube. I see Fanatic Card Guru was on. Fanatic, if you come back, just wanted to say hello. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. As you can see, today I have a co-host with me. Mr. MT is back. I'm on dad duty today, so I am watching the little guy while my wife is out running some errands that she had to do right now. You might also be able to see he just got his helmet, so he's had a very long day. He just got this late yesterday, so he's still kind of getting used to it. So if you hear any little yells or cries during the stream, that's him. In fact, what I'm going to try to do, because I'm trying to keep him at a camera view, let's put him right here, and I think I just messed that up. But here we go. You're going to sit here, and to occupy him, a little behind the scenes. Oh, let me see. I think your head's still there. Morning, Brian. Yeah, just occupy MT during the stream. I actually have my stream showing on my TV as well. Hey, Trev. Just to kind of occupy him so he stays glued to that. Usually when I'm live streaming, I'm in the basement. My wife is up here and she might be feeding him and he'll watch the screen. Hey, Zach. But today he's sitting here next to me, so I have it going on my screen, hopefully to kind of get his attention here. But I think I'm just confusing him because now I realize he sees me here, me on my phone, and me on our TV. But you want to wave to everybody? I'm not going to lie to you. That was me holding his arm. He can't wave yet. But you're getting there, right, buddy? But like I said, we just got his helmet yesterday. I do want to decorate it. If it were up to me, I had an idea where I was going to ask all of my YouTube friends and anybody who has a channel to send me a sticker. We were going to put it on his helmet, but I was overridden on that. So, but stay tuned though. Once we do decorate his helmet, hopefully before it's time for him to get rid of it, I will show that off. So just waiting. I do see some people trickling in. I saw, yep, Trev NT is here. Say hi to Trev, buddy. There you go. Brian's here. Zach, hi, Zach. So we are going to have 2 giveaways today, and MT is going to help me with that, just like he did last time. He did a good job, so we brought you back. And if you have any input, by the way, during this live stream, you can go, just say it, buddy, okay? He's just looking at me like, I'm missing nap time for this. Don't you have a bottle or something? But I figure before we get into the news topic, I'm going to just start with the things I read this week. About to run some errands. Yep, White Wolf. You and my wife too, apparently. Yes, and thank you for the like. Yes, just people always say smash or punch your like button. Mine's on my phone, so I just encourage people just lightly tap it. You don't have to beat it up. I would start singing some Tenacious D for you, but number 1, I don't think the song is appropriate and stood in front of the little guy. And number 2, you don't want to hear me sing. Trust me, it's not pretty. Right. He said it. So first, I didn't get to read as much as I wanted to this week. And actually, one of the books I realized I just left downstairs. I read Wolverine 21 and Wolverine 22. This is the Hellfire Gala variant. And here you've got the X20, formerly X23. I think she still goes by Wolverine now as well, in her Hellfire Gear attire. Hellfire Gala attire, rather. Funny story with that. I am collecting as many of the Hellfire Gala covers as I can. But hey, Chris, Mr. Bigger, how are you? I don't see your profile picture's not showing. It kind of threw me off. I was waiting for the familiar look. But anyway, I've been collecting all of the Gala covers. And I had an opportunity to get to the Adam Hughes cover. It's a 1 in 100. I had seen it earlier in the week online for like $25, and I didn't go for it. And then that sold out there, of course, because then now you go on and people are trying to sell it for $150, $180. My LCS didn't get it because they don't order that many X-Men. Excuse me. Pardon me. I did check with another LCS that I frequent, and they didn't get back to me, so I'm assuming that they don't have it either. So at the end of the day, I was like, look, I'm not going to pay $150 for a brand new book. I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer, right, buddy? I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer. It'll either find it on sale or at the end of the day, as great as an Adam Hughes cover is, and he is one of my favorite artists, I'm going to pass on it. Again, I just can't see spending that much for this. $150, I could get him a lot of formula and other things he needs. I tell you something, babies are expensive. That's for sure. You're right, Trev. Yes, it will come down. I think a lot of these modern day variants that we're seeing now are going to come down sooner rather than later. I think that's just how it is now. It's a market that can't sustain itself. Collectibles are not like a necessity. So, and I'm certainly not the first person to talk about this. So yeah, people are prioritizing things like food and bills and babies over comics, and rightfully so. You enjoying this? Okay, he's smiling. So about the books again, I left Wolverine 21 downstairs. Wolverine 21 and 22. Um, I like the book. I'll say that. Benjamin Percy has been a very good Wolverine writer. I'll say that. Not my favorite, but certainly far from my least favorite. I would rank him under Hama. Hama is my favorite of the modern day writers. I don't even know if you could say modern day anymore because it's been about 20 years, I think, since he's written Wolverine. But they're Percy's kind of gone into like a buddy thing with Wolverine and Deadpool in this story. I think I'm missing Wolverine 20. At least I don't remember reading it, so I did ask my LCS to grab that for me, so you might see that next week. But all in all, on a whole, I'm interested. I like it. What I don't like that they've kind of made Maverick kind of like a heel, almost in a comedic fashion. It just doesn't sit right with it. You good, buddy? Okay. He's weighing in. Next up, this is another Hellfire Gala variant. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 39. And this is a great cover. This is by Dodderman, I believe. I am planning to do a video just about the Hellfire Gala, specifically some of the different outfits and whatnot. I have a fashion aficionado, I guess, as you'd say, who will weigh in up. But this is a great cover, great costume too. The book itself, I'll be honest with you, I have not read Miles Morales in a very long time, so I'm probably not a good judge for this. It catches it in the middle of the series. Excuse me. This issue's in the middle of a story arc. So again, I'm jumping right into the middle of the action. It's definitely a different tone. Oh, you okay? It's definitely a different tone than I remember at least from Bendis's run. I think I had only picked up an issue or two of the current writer's run when he took this over. All right, buddy, relax. I'm trying to monitor him because with the helmet, I'm afraid that his head will go down, and I don't want him to choke. So that's why I keep kind of looking back, but he's okay. And you had to cough right after I said that. That's just post-nasal drool. Anyway. But it seemed like it was okay. It seems like it's an alternate kind of world story. I don't want to give a spoiler at the end, but all I'll say is I saw it coming. And it's kind of, and I'm going to kind of beat around the bush here. All the stuff I've complained about the last couple of weeks with the Miles Morales What If, I feel like they kind of made that same error at the end of this comic. But again, take it with a grain of salt because I haven't read Miles Morales in a very long time. I do like this other version of Genki in it, and that's not a spoiler at all, but that seemed pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of like a Genki Cable amalgam. The next was Wolverine Patch, issues number 2 and number 3. Number 2 here, hey, Master and Madam. Number 2 here is a variant. Oh, I'm still getting used to these, like, fact that it's kind of reversed. Yeah, this one. Nope, there we go. This one's the variant here. And to be honest, I thought this was a really cool variant. This is a Larry Hama limited series. I've had a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people, I should say, take issue with this, only because they say, well, it kind of gets boring and whatnot. I didn't find it boring. What I think it is it's a return to that kind of early '90s, late '80s style of Wolverine. I mean, remember, you've got Patch here, so this is taking place during Fall of the Mutants when most of the X-Men were presumed dead, if I remember correctly. Wolverine is the best Wolverine. Patch is the best Wolverine. No. No hat. No mask, I guess? Okay. I think so. I like Patch too. um, it is, and to be honest with you, for me, I think because it's a return to this older form of storytelling, it's just so refreshing. No cap. You don't want my cap, or is it Wolverine's cap? I don't understand. That's okay. Um, but yeah, this is like a return to form of that kind of storytelling, and it's a good story. You know, he's stuck in the outskirts of Madripoor. You have old school Nick Fury involved, Tiger, so you have that kind of James Bond element that's always in the Patch stories, and you still have the brutality of Wolverine, kind of lost in the jungle, helping these indigenous people, um, and you have these two kind of Russian mutants. Three, I'm sorry. One of them is a one of them is their child, which again, it's not a spoiler, but I really liked them, and I kind of. I mean, usually you introduce a character like that in a limited series, you're probably not going to see them, and there's a couple characters I'd like to see pop up on Krakoa, especially. Yeah, it's a good one, Chris, and I think there's only one more issue. There's either one or two more issues, but it's a good read. I think that if the child is around still, again, the last issue's not out. I think that'd be a cool addition to Krakoa and it'd be a nice kind of uh, link to the series. Excuse me. I also read on the Marvel Unlimited app. Excuse me. Let me just get something to drink here. I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me today. No cap, no lie. It's just okay. No, no worries. I learned something new. Yeah, I keep meaning to push that up. What was I going to say? Oh, online I read the first issue of Devil's Reign. I know that this is months old, but when you read them on the Marvel Unlimited app, it's about a 3 month delay. Yeah, I hear you, Chris. See, we're all learning today. By the way, Trev has been commenting. Trev just started his own channel recently. Trev won my 100 subscriber contest, and he picked up some really cool comics. Actually, just last week, I think it was. I could be wrong. I'm losing all track of time. If you want to see what he pulled, go ahead and go ahead and take a look at his channel, Trev the Shipping Guru. I'm going to just highlight him here. So if you're not following him, I think everybody here knows him. You could pretty much go ahead and do that. You right, buddy? Okay. He's going to follow you too, Trev. Let me pump you up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so I read the first issue of Devil's Reign. Again, I know it's a couple months out, but I do use the Marvel Unlimited app for series that I'm usually not following, and I found that it's actually a pretty good money saver. I'm going to have a video at some point on some money saving tips I'm picking up, just for reading comics, where you don't have to cut out a comic completely necessarily. You can still read it, but just save some money, right? You okay? He's good. Yeah, and I found the first issue to be very good. It kind of made me nostalgic, or not nostalgic. It kind of made me feel like I should have read the Zarsky run, but it's well done in the point where you can pick it up and read it without having read any of Zarsky's prior issues, and that's a sign to me of a good limited series. You don't have to go back and read issues upon issues worth of stuff just to be able to access the series. I was afraid initially that would be too much like the old Civil War kind of storyline, the original Civil War, I should say. But it's not that. and I really enjoyed the first issue. I look forward to looking at the others, and I might just go back and look at Zdarsky's Daredevil after that. So I think MT wants to get involved. So what we're going to do, we will do the first of 2 giveaways. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have been watching the channel lately. I have 2 giveaways going on. The first one we're going to do right now is to win copies of Condry 0 through 4. That's from Legacy Comics. I did an interview just a couple weeks ago with the co-founder and writer of Condry and many other issues or many other series, but that Legacy points out, Pat Hickey Jr. If you haven't watched that video yet, I do highly recommend it. It's the first interview I did with the creator. Here you go, buddy. And I enjoyed doing it, and Legacy puts out a great product. I actually have Renfield, which I know people from the Reggie Collects channel know Steve Conjay. That's his book. That's supposed to be coming right after this live stream, of course, because why would the mail bring it yesterday? Would have been too convenient. And I'm also plan on, of course, getting digital copies of Condry myself, as well as Sarita. I know that those are coming out, and even the Job looks good. I don't know. They have a lot of great stuff there. Go to Legacy Comics. That's comics with an X.com for more information. So anyway, this first one is to win, again, digital copies of Condry's issues 0 through 4. Okay, and MT is going to pick out the winner. So go ahead and pick one, buddy. And the winner, Kenneth Bird, which you can't see it on the writing, but it's Kenneth Bird. So Kenneth, I don't see you in the live stream today. I know that he follows me on IG. He sent me a couple messages, so I will go ahead and reach out to Kenneth. You're bored? And Kenneth, you will be receiving those shortly after you watch this. So we're going to do the other giveaway in a little bit. Before we do that, we'll talk about the subject at hand, and that was the MCU. A lot of people are decrying. Yep, a lot of people are decrying the MCU is done. That they can't put out a good movie. They can't put out a big film. And I'm gonna first give you 2 big asterisks with this. Number one, I haven't seen Thor yet. Okay, I'm waiting for Disney Plus. I have a little guy. You know, we've been very careful about when we go out and whatnot. I've spoken about that at length. I'm not going to repeat myself. So I'm going to wait the next extra month or so when Thor finally comes to Disney Plus and watch it then. And I'm also not critiquing the films here. Of course, like I said, I haven't seen Thor, but I'm a firm believer in, you know, even if you don't like something, it's somebody's favorite movie. There's films I don't like, and I'll always say to you, I don't like it. This is why. But if you like it, then more power to you. That's your opinion. Hold on one second. A little drool accident here. Okay. People seem to like, I've noticed videos where either I'm distracted or I've had too little coffee or too much coffee. So I figure I'm mixing my coffee with being distracted here, happily distracted, I should say. And we'll see how it turns out. So again, people are decrying, well, the Thor movie wasn't great. Again, I'm not talking about this is not a review of the film. I haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, please don't put any spoilers or anything here in the comments. I don't typically delete comments, but if I see that, I will delete it. Oh, stay back, buddy. So here's my point in it. First of all, and this part I've spoken about before in past videos, I think that I've noticed at least that when people are speaking about superhero movies, I should say people in the industry, people in the film industry talk about superhero movies, they seem to target Marvel. I don't hear them talking a whole lot about DC. And I think there's a couple reasons for this. First and foremost, I mean, look, Marvel, and I'm not rocking any boats here, Marvel is doing it significantly better, in many opinions, including myself, than DC. Look, DC has put out some fine films. The first Wonder Woman was great. The Snyder Cut was I think defied everything against it to be a great film. If you've watched me a while, you know that I talk a lot about Anthony Desiato from the Digging from Kryptonite podcast. And if you haven't, you should check out his stuff too, especially his films, some of which you can actually find for free on YouTube here. Look up Flat Squirrel Productions and look up My Comic Shop Country. Yeah, Chris, Marvel is the blueprint. But, and again, and I think that when you hear a lot of criticism, they're mentioning Marvel in particular because they're the biggest dog in the game in that respect. I think the other end to it is, and I noticed this actually while watching a non-comic book related show. Yeah, agreed, Trev. On HBO. My wife and I, we like to watch the show Hacks, and if you haven't seen it, great show. Jean Smart is an older female comedian trying to revitalize her career. There's only 2 seasons of it out, so you can catch up easily if you need something to watch. I know it's supposed to rain here later. Anyway, there was a one particular episode in the first season that her assistant ran into a friend from college, and her friend is doing significantly better than her. So, oh yeah, I'm directing a Marvel movie. And they come back to that later in the episode. She's talking to Jean Smart's character, and she's like, well, nobody wants to be in those stupid movies anyway. So it gave me a little pause here that they tied it back to Marvel. Now, Hacks, again, runs on HBO. HBO, if you didn't know, is owned by Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers also owns DC. So when you see these Batman movies, any of the DC movies that come out are under the Warner Brothers banner. So I didn't know if it was a little bit of propaganda, for lack of a better word. I'll prop you up again. The other part of it, too, I looked at whom a lot of the complaints... What's that? Okay. I looked up a lot of who a lot of the complaints... this is going to be a great episode. Who a lot of the complaints were coming from in the film industry, particularly Ridley Scott. Now, there are some I could see that the discussion is apt. Martin Scorsese, I think, is an exception. He put out, he said, I don't like these movies. They're not cinema. And he got a little bit of backlash, and he went back and he explained. He's like, look, they're fine. It's just, it's not high art. And I'm paraphrasing a bunch. Like I said, I did a video about this. I actually did a whole bunch of drawings about this too. If you look on my IG, you might be able to find this. But I found that some of the people who were complaining about it, like Ridley Scott, Timothy, I can't say his name, Chalty, look him up. He was in the Dune movie, and I'll bring that up in a second too. Elizabeth Banks, who ironically got her first major film role, was in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. She was Betty Brant. All these people were coming forward, and meanwhile, those 3 individuals had major projects coming up at Warner Brothers. Ridley Scott, it was just kind of a shocker to me. Like, I understand he's an older gentleman. You know, I've liked some of his movies. He's had a lot of crappy movies too, for lack of a better word. Well, you're right. Okay. I'm trying not to get him to fall over. And he can't be on camera, so a little bit of a balancing act. But his criticism, even today, I think I just saw an article where he was talking about superhero films, is just more, it's blatantly, I don't want to say wrong, I don't want to say disgusting, it's just overly harsh. It was like, well, really, any movie could be a superhero movie. Aliens could be a superhero movie. Okay? Gladiator, he's a superhero. It's like, all right, so the issue I have is that not so much you're attacking the genre, you're at that point too kind of belittling the people who enjoy these movies. At the end of the day, they all have their own motivations. Tarantino actually spoke poorly on superhero movies too, and I can almost understand his, because when his last, not his last, but the movie Hateful Eight, I believe it was. No, wait, maybe it was his last movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, came out. Apparently, he couldn't get it to play at certain theaters because Disney said Disney made those theaters say, "Hey, we're playing Star Wars for 2 months or whatever." So he's kind of got a bone to pick with them, which is a shame because early on in his career, if you've seen Reservoir Dogs, there's a lot of references to comics. I remember there was a Silver Surfer poster. One of the characters does an interesting take on the Fantastic Four. I'm going to leave it at that. If you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and see that. It's one of my favorites. And there was even discussion of him at one time doing a Luke Cage movie. Yeah, this is way before the Netflix series. But I guess those are things we're never going to see. I think he only said he's going to make one more movie anyway, and he's going to retire. You could tell the coffee's kicking in. So, getting back to topic, is the MCU losing its luster? Here's the thing. I mean, look at Phase 4. Black Widow, people liked it. I didn't. Just my opinion. I see it as a missed opportunity. I've spoken about that before. Spider-Man, a lot of people loved, and I enjoyed it as well. Wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but it was still good. What else has come out? Eternals, I liked it a lot. I know that some people haven't, but I was kind of what I expected. I was looking for like a Gone with the Wind of superheroes, and that's what I got. Doctor Strange, we just saw a couple weeks ago. I enjoyed it. Wasn't as good as the first. It's definitely a different tone, and yeah, that was some, not, I wouldn't say a scary thing in there, but it was some surprises. And the TV series, let's see, Ms. Marvel just wrapped up. I really enjoyed it. I know some people haven't, and that's part of this discussion too, because people are saying this is the lowest rated Disney Plus Marvel series. Well, look, it's the middle of the summer that it's debuting. I think it's bad timing. A lot of people this year are traveling despite COVID coming back up into COVID numbers rising again, because they're tired of being home. Look, if it weren't for the little guy and other kind of things going on, we would be looking at travel as well. But at the end of the day, not many people are staying home like we are. So do I think the MCU is going away? No, absolutely not, because it's still making money. And again, people are saying, well, this movie wasn't as good as the prior movie. Name me, there's very few sequels, forget even about Marvel movies, just in movies in general, that exceed the original. You could probably count on one hand, really. As far as Marvel movies go, the only sequels I could say that are better than the originals, in my opinion, have been the Captain America movies. They've been exceedingly better. And I would say Infinity War outpaced the original Avengers and Age of Ultron, in my opinion. All the other sequels just weren't as good. Iron Man 2, I liked it. Not many people did. Some people see it as a low point in the MCU. The second Thor film, I didn't care for it, to be honest with you, when it first came out. But I kind of got a bigger appreciation for it after Endgame. I'll even say this Endgame I didn't like as much as I liked Infinity War, if you want to go that far. Age of Ultron was definitely not as good as the first Avengers film. Second Guardians movie. Maybe Ant-Man is part of the exception, too. I've only seen Ant-Man and Wasp once. But my point is that, again, the MCU is not going anywhere. I don't think it's a quality issue. I think it's a sequel issue. It's sequelitis, for lack of a better term. And at the end of the day, if you continue to watch what you like, that's all you have to worry about. And look, I'm sure that this discussion is going to continue further once, what's the next one coming out? I think it's Black Panther comes out. We'll see. You know, I'm excited to see what's coming on the horizon for MCU and for comic book movies in general. All right, so why don't we do this? I'm trying to think if I want to do the opening. I'll do pickups for this week. There's only one pickup, and I haven't opened the box yet. This just came yesterday. I didn't get to the LCS this week. I might either go later today or next week. I'm tempted to say next week because he's got this helmet. He's got to go once a week to get it shaved down, and where the office is actually right near my LCS. The only downside is that it being the middle of the summer, it gets really hot under that helmet, and babies apparently don't sweat like you and I do. So hopefully by next week I'll visit the LCS. You'll be able to see that ball. But yeah, this is my sole pickup for the week, Chris. So this was an item from eBay, and I don't spec much on my channel because when I do, I'm usually pretty wrong about it. Okay, so this was a box within a box. Hopefully this is okay. I apt to think that this is okay because this box was in pretty good shape. So as I was saying, I don't spec much, but there are 2 books that I spec on because they're cheap, number one, and because I do think that there are shots that these are going to go well. One of them, I can't remember the number offhand, but if you go and you look at the first appearance of Jocasta in one of the early Avengers, not one of the early Avengers, one of the Perez run, I do think that we're going to see Jocasta come sooner rather than later, whether it's in the Ironheart series or the Armor War series. She was teased back in Age of Ultron. If you look, her name was on one of the little files there. So I think if she's coming soon. And then the other one is this book. So within this second box is another box. This makes me feel better that it's in good condition. So you had 2 boxes and bubble tape. Honestly, I'm just happy that it's not those packing peanuts. Did the vampire mailman deliver this book? It's possible, Brian. I didn't get a good look at him this time, but I did see a bat fly away, so it probably was him. I try to reuse my materials as much as I can. Yep, that's right, Trev. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you're behind. Okay, so this is a slab I should mention as well. You excited, buddy? Okay, let me put you up here. You're a drool machine today, buddy. Okay. And there was a envelope within that one. So packing was done very well. We'll say that. So as I said, I'm only speccing on 2 things. This is the second piece of spec. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the X-Men are coming to the MCU soon. And I figure maybe or maybe not at some point, Disney may want to try to revisit the Dark Phoenix saga. And if they do, one way to introduce the character in a post-Avengers MCU that they haven't done yet would be through what happened in this issue here. This is Avengers 263. This is at a 9.4. Does anybody know, I guess you could pretty much figure it out, what happens in this issue? If you don't know, the Avengers, and this was a team of Namor, Captain America, Black Knight, Hercules, and Photon, Monica Rambeau, right in the back there, go into, I think this was in the Hutton, and find this mysterious cocoon who later emerges in X-Men, as we know, as Jean Grey, as the Phoenix. So I figure if this book is, if the Phoenix is going to come to Disney, and I'm not sure that it will. I don't pretend to know more than I do. They've already had 2 failed iterations in the Fox universe, but this might be a possible entry point. This book is very affordable. I can tell you I paid under $40 in a slab. So I would say if you're going to spec on that. If it doesn't come to fruition, oh well. It's a small investment. And I think it's still a cool book to have in the collection. What do you think, buddy? He's looking at these because he knows it's going to be his book one day. A House of M MCU movie would be cool. To be honest with you, I kind of thought we were headed that way with WandaVision at one point. But one never knows. I think it's still possible, especially given the events of Doctor Strange. everybody's pointing towards Secret Wars, and I think that is also a possibility. But if it's done, I don't think it's going to be used to introduce Doctor Doom. I did hear the audio tape of Howard Stern saying he's going to be in the Doctor Doom movie. I hope that's not true. Not a Stern fan. I actually did some work I'm going to talk about, I think, on one video for if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, you'll know this name. If you're outside of it, you may know. Brian, you might know this. I did a little bit of work for Anthony from Opie and Anthony, for Opie rather, from Opie and Anthony on his podcast. I did some of his artwork. And I have some unkind opinions of Howard Stern, but to each their own. So, yeah, exactly, Zach. My thoughts exactly. Yeah, and by the way, what I just mentioned with this video, I should tell you before. See, this is just kind of a teaser until I do the next giveaway here. A couple things I'm working on for future videos. I just had the opportunity to do a 411, not this past Friday, but the Friday before with Brian LCS, which was a great experience. Brian, I have to tell you, I shared the video with my family, and they're all like, "Oh my God, this was such a great interview." So it's kind of nice. It's like they don't watch my own channel, but they'll watch you. And it's kind of weird because like your interview kind of like legitimized what I'm doing to them. So maybe they start watching now. We'll see. But Brian has his comic book community awards coming up. I haven't spoken purposely about it on my YouTube channel because I've been working in the background a little bit on it, trying to get some votes. And I am looking to do, I have 2 video ideas. One of them requires outside help that I've kind of enlisted some friends on, and I'm hoping that comes to fruition. And I have another idea that I want to try as well. So being that his 700 subscriber, excuse me, being that his 700 subscriber video is due this Wednesday, I'm going to try to have those done before then. And, I think they're fun ideas. And I like to do these just because it kind of pushes the limit, at least for me, of what I could do online. So go check out Brian's channel. He had a great 401, by the way, with Main Event Comics as well. And Main Event's great. You like his channel too, buddy? Main Event's great. I recommend you check out his channel too. I think I'm going to expand a little bit about some of the topics that Brian discussed in our interview about not only how I started collecting, but also, yep, MT does say 700. Also about why I started a YouTube channel. And I'll give you a clue. The hat I've been wearing in every single video, more or less, is part of that discussion. And yeah, I still need a haircut. So he wants to get involved, right, MT? So I think it's time that we picked out our next prize. And this prize was a donation, an AOK, I should say, from Reggie Collects. Reggie sent me a copy of the Ash Can for Isolation, the series that he's been working on with Doug Bratton and Delia Gunderson. So it's an exclusive 7-page preview. I spoke about it in one of my videos last week. Go ahead and look at that one if you haven't. It's the one that says Isolation. And it was kind of limited because it's only a 7-page Ash Can, and there's only so much information you're allowed to say. But it's a limited edition item. There's only 100 printed. So he was nice enough, kind enough to send me another Ash Can to give away. And I had a lot of people put their names in for this. Again, I don't do the duck race. I do just old school pen and paper. And we'll let the little guy pick the winner. So whoever gets picked here is going to get their copy of Isolation in a Ash Can. All I ask you to do, though, is to respect the rules that Reggie puts out in his letter. And if you win, you'll know what I mean. Okay, buddy. So go ahead and pick a winner. Pick a winner. Just one. He's grabbed a few pieces, but we'll sort it out from there. Oh, here you go. He threw all of them except for one. You can play with the paper later. Just don't tell Mommy. And the winner, the winner of the isolation ash can is, again, you can't read the paper. I don't know why I tried it. Where'd you get that? Where you get that? That's pretty cool, actually. He's got a great channel. I've talked about his before, Where You Get That. He looks at all different collectibles and basically tells them a little bit about where he got the stuff. And some of it is some really cool stuff. I know he had something signed by Adam West he was showing off on one video, but I will be sending that out. If not by the end of the day, then certainly by the end of the week. So I'll be reaching out to Where You Get That for his shipping information. So that's my video for the week. I know it was a little bit shorter. Actually, no, we're about the same amount of time. So thanks for hanging out with me here. You know, we're having our guys' day still. My wife is still out, which so far has consisted of watching an episode of Josh Gates I had on my DVR that I hadn't watched. And I'll give you an idea how old it was. They had a commercial for the Black Widow film in it. So it was about a year old at this point, but I enjoyed it. He looked like he enjoyed it as well. And we're probably just going to continue with that. Maybe he'll let me finish my cup of coffee or actually eat something, but that's doubtful. Do you feel like taking a nap soon, buddy? No? Okay. But anyway, thanks for checking out my live feed again. I appreciate you doing so. Be sure to look forward to at least one video. Hopefully I get both of those done, Brian, this week. And thanks again. I'll have more giveaways soon, I promise. I've done a lot of them lately. So I want to take a little bit of a break from that. But thanks again for checking us out. Peace, love, and comics. You want to wave, buddy? Take care, everybody.